life.
Hey, welcome back to the 2RealPodcast with your hosts, Izzy G and...
Your boy, Izzy P. I'm back, and I'm better than ever.
Yep. There was a little bit delay in what I said. I don't know why my brain just kind of stopped. But, so it was brought to my attention that maybe we should talk about ourselves a little bit, introduce our peoples, and establish our character dynamics. Yeah, which is just strange because it's like we're putting out this podcast to our friends. So if they don't know us, that is a bit weird. But I guess anybody knew.
I mean, it's a little bit weird is that people actually care about our personal lives. Like,
for real, like what different am I doing in quarantine that these other people are not?
Yeah. Well, I guess you could go ahead and just start us off then, Fred.
I like to talk first. Golly. So Izzy G here. Nothing too big's happening in my life at the moment. Sitting in house, playing games and whatnot. Honestly, I've been surprisingly tired, even though all I do is sleep all day. But I heard that the longer you sleep, like when you wake up, if you slept for more than 8 hours and you wake up, right, you'll wake up just as tired as you were before you went to sleep. I don't know why that's a thing, but apparently it is, and that's kind of BS. But hey, I'm not gonna fight the bed. I'm gonna go back to sleep. I'm gonna go back to sleep.
But yo, you know what? That low key makes sense because you like burn calories while you sleep, so your energy could be lower when you wake up.
That you know what? Yo, science major.
I mean,
a logistician.
Yeah, I guess I guess I could tell you a little bit about myself. I'm an ex high school football player.
I really thought you were about to say convict. I'm not gonna lie, and I know you. That's the funny part.
No, I used to play football. Now I'm a boxer. I'm also, I'm a jack of all trades, man. I just, I do what needs to be done. I'm an activist. I'm an anime connoisseur. I'm a PK. For anybody who doesn't know what a PK is, I'm a pastor's kid.
Oh, I just keep talking.
No, what you think I was talking about, bro?
I couldn't even put anything to it, to be honest. My mind was just all over the place. But continue.
Yeah. And then I'm a pretty below average gamer. I'm pretty sure if I was to start...
Nah. We ain't calling ourselves gamers these days.
Yeah, no, I mean, during this quarantine, about 8 hours of my day, I got my thumbs on the thumbsticks, you feel me? So, yeah. I mean, I'm going to call it what it is. This is stuff I do. So, for people who do things that they do, is that not the thing that they are? Like, a person who cuts wood is therefore a woodcutter or a lumberjack.
I was gonna say lumberjack, yeah.
Or a carpenter. Like a person who drives. I'm a driver. I drive.
Uber.
Come on. Like, someone who cuts hair. What are they? A barber.
I thought you were about to say hair cutter, because that's on the trend that you were on right here.
Oh, yeah. But, if you do something more than about a quarter of your day, right, I feel like you should be like, okay, listen, I go to school, right? And I'm called a student because
not anymore,
it's no, I mean, I still go to school, online classes, tap in with the Zoom calls, But, if you go to school more than a quarter of the day, you're a student. Because, you could technically learn something in a virtual class, but are you really a student or are you just a lifelong learner at that point? You feel me? Does that make sense?
Lifelong learner? That sounds like a philosophy major.
I low-key was thinking about doing philosophy, but then they all try to say I'm retarded for believing in God.
I'm weak. Yeah, I don't.
They're like, you believe in someone creating you. We all know that the whole point of philosophy is to find out about the journey within oneself and to be fully, for your life to be fulfilled and so you can understand humans on a better.
There's plenty of
level
of great philosophers out there, great old philosophers who believed in God. So to say that, obviously,
but the new trend is a little bit different.
Freaking, I'm pretty sure Plato was, or what's the Socrates? One of the two. They were saying something like, "There's a perfect form of everything, and that was made by the Creator. There's a perfect form of a cup and whatnot." So I mean,
so is he saying that there's like a perfect form of like a human being? Is because if that's the case, I thought about this
Jesus.
The other day, right?
Wait,
well, no.
This ain't no church podcast. What we on about?
Listen. I'm about to really be too real right now. Check it out, right? So the other day I was having a conversation with one of my friends. He's Asian. He was like, "Bro,
I don't see why that's relevant to anything." In fact, listen. No, listen. It's going to be relevant by the end of this story. Right. But he's Asian, right? And he's like, "Man, Asian people really don't get a whole lot of play." Like I was like, I see you with some baddies. He was like, "But what's their ethnicity?" I said, "Asian." He was like, "Exactly. I don't see no Latinas, no white girls, no black girls." I'm like, "Oh." He ain't with the Asian persuasion.
But listen. He was like, "But you think, I take pride in being Asian because, if there really is a perfect being who created us, right?" Mm-hmm. He was like, "Think about it. God put black people in the oven a little too long so they came out black." No, listen like that. True story. This happened at my old school with my homeboy, young Mateo. I'm not going to drop his first name because he got his own podcast out. I'll shout him out later on. But then, he goes like, and white people, they're undercooked, And so he goes, "But you know who was baked just right?" He goes, "Hey," and as soon as he said "hey," I said light skins. I was like, light skins, we're on the winning team. And he was like, "No, I was going to say Asians, we got that golden color."
Not
like,
really.
That's the case. It's the Latinos, because Latinos be fitting that spectrum perfectly.
Most Asians I've seen are pretty like white looking, to be honest. So I've seen some caramel, but a lot of them that I see down in Washington, they're definitely on the white side.
But low key, but that's also the Japanese and Chinese descent, like in Taiwanese. And actually, in Taiwan, people are are actually pretty dark. Then you got Thailand, bro. They're actually
Taijutsu?
Taijutsu. I'm like, on my Rock League, so, but like for real, like Thailand, like I guess Thai people are actually like, they're low-key darker than me. Like Indonesian people, darker than me. Filipino people, there's some darker than me, But yeah,
not saying much. I guess you're a little light ass.
Oh, it's like that.
You're a little white skinned.
All right, you know what? I'm not white skinned. You know what? I feel like it came from my character. Go follow me on Instagram at @TheRealIsraelPresley. Come on now.
What? Where did that come from? Why are you dropping your Instagram?
Because let the people decide if I'm light skinned or caramel skin or brown skin.
The only picture on that account is literally a golden hour picture. You're light skinned, bro.
Nah, Brody. It was because my wrist was busting that day.
So you did have.
Yeah, the wrist was busting a little bit. You feel me?
I didn't even think
and
about
the waves had the little ripple going on.
Bro, I'm weak. But you really had the bust down in a photo right under your chin. It wasn't even a bust down.
It wasn't. I ain't gonna lie. It wasn't the bust down. It was the plain Jane. And it was a little. It was a little baby flex. But yeah, I mean. Shoot, you know what though? I was talking about this to some folks the other day about like how like a lot of Asian people low-key fetishize black folks, right? And I was like, I was like, that was their point. My point was, I don't really think that they fetishize us. I think like it's more so like a mutual respect. Like
I don't even see that, to be honest.
Bro, you can't tell me every anime you've seen, right? Why are all the black people either super, like for the females anyway, they're always made hella fine. I haven't seen one ugly black anime girl ever.
Bro, Did you see how they made damn, what's her name on Hunter x Hunter? The little girl with the
Yeah, I know her name. I know her name too. I don't know what. I'm about to pull it up right now.
It's something. It's like Canary or something like that.
Yeah, it is Canary.
Yeah.
It's definitely Canary.
Bro, if you see the original way that Togashi drew her, bro, it was looking all kinds of racist. It was not right, bro. It was not right. I feel like when you see them in anime and stuff, it's always like a way where you can't really tell if they're black because it's like their skin color is black, but nothing else seems black about them, like at all. Like their hair won't be like no kind of black people hair. Like for the girl in Bleach, like I was saying, her hair is like purple or something like that.
Okay, but My Hero Academia, Mirko, she's straight black.
The bunny
she's
chick?
Straight.
The bunny girl?
Yeah, she's straight black. She is black.
Yeah. There's a few that do black people right, but I never thought it was like a fetish thing. Especially because a lot of the dudes you see that are black, like Dragon Ball is definitely guilty of this. The big pink lips making them look like coons and whatnot, bro.
Yeah, no, I feel you. But whenever they do bring a black person in the mix, they always give them like a solid power level. Like, you know, like come on, bro.
Not
you
in Dragon
can't
Ball.
tell
Definitely
me...
not in Dragon Ball. There's no black people in Dragon Ball, to be honest.
Nigga, what do you think Piccolo is?
Okay,
that nigga's black.
He's green.
He's
a green alien man. He's a green
check this out.
alien
Check this
man.
out.
He's black in the heart, bro. He's black in the
but
heart.
But listen, here's the thing. Piccolo is the only black man I know who would actually go and take someone else's kid and make them their son, not the other way around. I'm just dropping his son off and getting the cut.
Well, this man Piccolo, right? You gotta understand. You gotta understand. This man is voiced by a white dude. The guy who created him, right, is an Asian dude. There's nothing black about Piccolo besides his like demeanor, I'd say, right? There's nothing black about Piccolo, but he's just accepted as a black character. He's a green alien man.
He's black, bro. He's black.
All Namekians are black. Is that what I'm hearing, bro?
Yeah, bro. Come on, bro. They got the elders and everything, bro. Come on now, bro. They're black, bro.
I'm so weak by these. I looked at Dragon Ball Black Man, and it just showed me Mr. Popo. It's funny. I mean, there's a guy named Killa, and he's super buffed up, but he.
But they always make, like, for me, every anime I've seen when they introduce a black side or even a main character, they're Loki. Bro, look at the hidden cloud, bro. Look at the hidden cloud.
Okay.
Like all of them came with the smoke, bro. They all came with the smoke. Cuddy had the dookie braids on. Oh my gosh,
bro, come on, but you gotta understand, they're black, but they don't have no dark skin representation. None.
What do you look at my nigga Darby? He's
a
dark brown.
You know what? Let me see this again. Let me make sure.
And he's also a Raikage. Down the stretch, like Broski came with the black, but
he's kind of light. He's kind of light, but I'd say he's definitely darker than. I think he's darker than Killer B.
He's so black that his own technique personifies a Black
lightning,
Panther, bro.
The black
come on, bro.
Okay. Bro. I'm flopping. I'm fumbling the bag. I'm fumbling the bag.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, even SAO, bro, came with the black character. Cuddy had his own blacksmithing shop.
All right.
I
love black people, but I'm going to have to cut you off. You're talking about Sword Art Online. We will not talk about Sword Art Online.
No, Sword Art Online has a solid fan base. You better watch yourself.
Nah, bro.
Now, I'm not saying I'm a fan of Sword Art, but like Sword Art was also one of my first 5 animes I watched. Listen, okay. Speaking of simps, bro, did you ever watch that Tower of God? I told you to, bro.
No, I have not.
So reminiscent. It's so reminiscent of Hunter x Hunter, bro.
Look, I'll watch it, but it's gonna take me some time. Like it took you some time to watch one of the best animes ever created, Yu Yu Hakusho.
Give it the credit that it's due. It's the greatest anime ever created. That anime literally
There's so much
embodied
heart, bro. There's so much heart that he put into that. I feel like Hunter x Hunter, as great as a show as that is, I feel like I don't see as much heart in that as I did in Yu Yu Hakusho. And I forgot that Yu Yu Hakusho had movies, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch these movies, bro, because I remember I was in that pit after the show ended. I was just so sad. I need to watch these movies now.
Yeah. No. I mean, I watched it, in like a week?
Bro, I was trying to tell you. I kept telling you, Israel, slow down, bro. Like, it took me like a good 3 weeks to a month to finish the show, right?
I was like,
but I told you, though. On those final few episodes, you're about to be hurt, bro. I remember looking at it and being like 100 episodes out of 112. Like, my heart was just boom. Boom. I was like, I gotta watch the next one. It's too cold.
When I saw that whole, like, I think the thing that was the icing on the cake for me, because like throughout the show, it took my boy Yusuke a whole hell of a lot of time to actually mature. Yeah. But like those last like 15 episodes were hitting home because you could feel like this nigga's actually like approaching that grown man status right now.
For real. Like, and he got to a point where I felt like he had greater understanding a little bit. Because it wasn't as if things fazed him anymore. Not even that he was, like, emotionless and just void or anything. It's like when he was talking to the what do they call them? The ghost detectives? Or what do they call them?
What?
Are they called ghost detectives?
Are you talking about the special force
from... When he was talking to the lady spirit detective before him. Right, and he met those demon dudes who said they were S class, but in the forms that they took right now, they were D, but they could still beat him with all his power, right?
Yeah.
And he was just like, he's like, oh no, he brushed something off. He's like, oh, it's not that big a deal. I get it. You eat humans, you need food. Food is food. And then the chick was all like disgusted and angry at him. She's like, wow, you're not a human. I can't talk to you anymore. Like, you're a demon. The way that you talk about humans just being food, that's not like a human thing. But I feel like he had a greater understanding there because he is a human, right, with demon blood. But at the end of the day, he's still a human, right? And a cow is a cow, right? Like we people who eat meat, they eat meat. I feel like no one really accepts the fact that a lot of those animals are like. Not that they're living, but like a lot of them go through a lot of like torment and torture and stuff like that, and it sucks and all. But you have to get past that. You have to understand that it's just like, unfortunately, you have to understand that it's like something that you can't truly stop, at least not on your own, right? So if a cow is just food to us, then to something else that eats humans, right? We're just food to them.
Yeah.
All right. So for that coming from Yusuke, a human himself. Right, looking at a bunch of demons on him, right, being like, okay, I get it. You eat humans because that's your only food source, whatever. Especially because later on they say all the other demons have tried, or at least like some of the most powerful ones have tried to stop eating humans and eating alternatives, but it never works. Like it never satisfied them, or like they couldn't really live off of it. So it's not like they had like any other choice, which. Humans do have other choices, other alternatives. So I don't know. I felt like he did mature and he grew a little bit. It never seemed like he hated demons, right? He was only doing like his job essentially.
Yeah. And here's the issue too. Like, not the issue, but like you made a valid point there. Like his maturity in that moment when he was like, I understand, especially because like. In the manga, there's also some more details that's left out in the anime. And so, like, looking back at it, he really had to be in a place of sympathy,
Right.
And that was, like, the thing. Like, he achieved the balance, though, that was necessary. So he wasn't, like, another Sensui when he was, like, damn near worshiping them.
For real.
But, like, he was like, look, like, I could understand. He was actually looking at it from a fair perspective. Like, I could understand, And, like, even when he saw his, like, ancestor back in the, in his whatever in his palace or whatever.
Right.
That thing looked more like an anthill, but his palace.
It really did look like a giant anthill.
You know, he pops up in his palace, and Cuddy's like, "Yo, bro, like, are you like you could eat one human, bro? Like, you could legit eat one human." And that was the other thing to me, like, Broski was so powerful that this dude was anorexic and was still able to keep the power balance amongst.
He
like,
was literally
was like,
handling that a Yusuke that had just, even though it was with his own power or with his ancestors' power, who had beaten up Sensui and survived, right?
Yeah.
And he handled him while sitting on his throne with one hand.
Yeah.
And I think they said that he hadn't eaten in thousands of years, something like that.
Thousands.
Like, it got to the point where, like, he was so hungry that at certain times of the day, all you could hear was the grumbling from his stomach for miles.
Across
all of Demon World or something like that.
Yeah. Like, that was their, like, way of knowing what time it was. Like,
that's facts. Yeah.
Like, and I was like, for me, you know, like, I was like, yo, like, this is dedication. Like, me going without a meal for, like, 30 minutes is, like, hell on earth for me. So thousands of years, I know his stomach was touching his spine.
For real.
Like,
and then when he finally gave in, and he's like, I need to eat, bro.
And then Cuddy just collapsed.
For real. He got one bite. And he's like, that's all you got in you, old man? And he just took a seat, bro. Just took a seat. And they started talking about clapping human cheeks.
I know, bro. I was weak.
Bro, she was kind of bad, though. Like,
she ain't Botan, though.
You're right, but she wasn't Botan, but she was kind of bad. But I don't understand. This man, he went and that was just such a weird scene because he went over there, they were talking, he's like, you know, I could like eat you at any moment, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, I'm literally helping you, healing your wounds, whatever. And it's like, oh, but with all the medicine I've consumed and like that's going through my blood to give you this medicine or whatever, right? If you take one bite out of me, you'll die, right?
Yeah.
Like you'll be poisoned. So go ahead and eat me. Try it. And that dude was like,
yeah,
bro.
Cuddy hit the oh man,
bro. She was really like, what are you gonna do about it? No. Yusuke's like, so what did you do? Did you eat her? And he's like, we made love. And I was like, what the I was like, nigga, what? And then he's just like, I couldn't look her in the eyes after that because he felt bad for eating people. He immediately like regretted eating people and stuff like that. So he's like, after that day, I vowed to never eat a person again until I saw her.
You know what that nigga was going through? He was like, dang.
He was simping. He was simping hard.
Nah, bro. Brody said, I'm finna toot it and boot it. And got further, bro, and then went to go be the greatest of all time.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He
didn't eat a single human until he could see her again, right? He never saw her again, so he never ate another human. So,
yeah.
I mean, he was greatest of all time for sure, but I mean, he was kind of simpy for being like, oh, it's like I can see this one female again. I'm not about to.
I don't think he was simping. I think Cuddy came to the realization like, dang, I was eating some people who probably have some fire ass cheeks, bro.
Oh, hell no!
Like, think about that. Like, imagine like that's like okay, right? You know how you go hunting and shit. Like, that's like you shoot the animal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say you shoot him in the leg. You're like, dang, man, I damaged some fire ass meat.
Some fire ass meat.
I said no homo pause, but listen.
I damaged some good meat.
But that's for real though. Like you shoot an animal, you shoot a deer in its hind leg, like it's gonna hobble, it's gonna bleed out, but that meat is gonna turn bad, it's gonna rot. But like, and so like that's how he was. He was like, bro, like I was eating this. Damaged. No, listen. He said I was damaging some real good cheeks.
Bro.
Like, bro, come on, bro.
Nobody had it like her. Ain't nobody had it like her.
Listen.
Especially when she
died. All right. But look, have you ever came to that realization, right? You be like, bro, I'll never date this specific group of people, right? And then you mess with one, you're like, okay, all right, like I could see how I could, like that's like I feel Brody. Like he was like, okay, like yo, I don't mess with dark skins, right? And then be like, oh no, I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying hypothetically, right? And then you mess with one, and you find out Shawty could cook. Shawty got a good sense of humor.
No, bro.
I've been missing out my whole life. So at that point, like I'm not finna sit here and hate on dark skins no more, right? He was in the same mindset. He was like, man, humans. I don't gotta worry about a Feezy having 3 ears, 6 ears like my boy Yoni. Oh my gosh, Cuddy had ears on ears.
I mean, he
bro.
did have that one female that literally broke up. He literally broke up with her right after he clapped that one chick too.
That's why he's not a simp, bro. He's like, he said, nah.
The cheeks were trash. Nah. Goodbye.
Yeah, exactly. Cause he said he had to level up real quick. He said, oh, I can't eat you, so I'm gonna beat you.
I think it's hilarious that her husband was really just her husband was low key like a cuck, bro. When you think about it, because this man, she was like, oh, I've only ever had one love, and it was what was his name? I feel like he had a hard name.
Ryzen.
Yeah, Ryzen. Right? She's like, I only had one love in my life, and it was Ryzen. And he's like, oh, honey, stop playing around. And she's like, get away from me. She was on his head. He's like, oh, she loves me. I was just like, nah, bro. You were settled. She settled for you.
I mean, you know who was also a true simp? My nigga Naruto. He really muscled up though. He muscled up though. And really
he muscled up. I'm weak,
bro. No, think about it. So he said, Naruto, I love you, Naruto. And he said, no.
Oh, no.
I'm like, yeah.
I was weak because he was just like, no, stop looking for Sasuke. I love you. We'll get married. I decided I love you, Naruto. He's like, nah, I'm gonna bring Sasuke back to the leaf. He said, you're lying. I'm gonna bring Sasuke back to the leaf.
Oh man, that was.
But then his dad came through, and he was like, "So who's that, Naruto? Your girlfriend?" He's like, "Yeah, I guess you could say that."
Cuddy is comical. At the end of the day,
he got him some Hinata cakes.
And I don't blame
got him some of that Hyuga clan.
We all know Hinata was the baddest one, man. I don't understand how people be like Tsunade's bae. Tsunade looks like sorry, she's not cute to me. No. Not a waifu. She's not a waifu.
Jiraiya niggas, that's it, bro.
Nah, bro. I'm telling you, bro, if you want to watch an anime about a simp, bro, hop on this Korean story, Tower of God, man. The Koreans been going off on their little manhwa, bro. Their manhwa's kind of nice with it. Like, I was on that webtoons checking their stuff out, bro. Like, I thought Japan was, like, reign supreme, but, like, there's stories all over the world that's just on 1,000. Like, Cuddy, bro is like the definition of a simp, right? Like
the dude, the main character in
the main character, right? Cuddy straight goes to the different world. Shawty pulls up to come, and like she sees him, he sees her, and he's like, she about to get clapped, and then this nigga jumps in front of the thing, he gets clapped or whatever, bro. The next day, Shawty's like, don't tell him I was here. And I was like, damn. This nigga's a simp. She said, I don't want him, because she was practically said, he's not good for me, I'm not good for him, I don't want him looking for me. Damn. And then she straight hits a cut and stays in her room. And Cuddy's like, his whole purpose for living was after her, bro. Like, that's like, I was like, And bro, I don't know, man. There's just so many, like, that really opened up my eyes to really be like, yo, there's so much, like, so many good stories out there that, like, I've turned a blind eye to, like, I don't know. I've watched my fair share of anime, read my fair share of manga, but.
Yeah, too many to count by this point. Well, not too many to count, but too many to remember.
All right, now I'm about to ask you for how do you feel about, like, those animes that are, like, based off of, like, those mobile phone games, like, I heard, like, there's been a few that's dropped now.
I haven't even heard of one.
Bro.
Watch me find out one of my top animes was based off a mobile phone game, bro.
Bro, there's, like, a few of them that are, like, low-key looking fire. Like, I know the one of the people who are, like, one of the main writers for Konosuba is helping with one of the projects. So it's, like, a light version of Konosuba where it's, like, it's not as like left comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But like there's this other one that I saw today. It's called Rage of Bahamut or something like that. Cuddy.
Mm-hmm.
The art style in that anime had me looking all types of sideways. I was like, that's filthy. That's filthy.
That's
bro.
that mobile game money. That's the type of animation you get. Mobile game money.
Nah, bro, but like even with that, like there's so many animes, bro, that are just
what's like 10 anime you could recommend to say someone who's listening to this and doesn't watch anime?
Oh man, I mean, any of my gateway animes except for Fairy Tail. Don't watch Fairy Tail. I mean, it was my gateway, one of my gateway animes, but no, don't watch Fairy Tail, bro. It'll leave a bad taste in your mouth.
Will it though? I feel like when I was watching Fairy Tail, it was kind of cracking until that last season. That last season is what really left a sour taste in my mouth. I was highly disappointed. Here's the thing. If you don't, okay, but look. People, when you were younger, you used to think that, Chuck E. Cheese's pizzas were good, right? I heard but they actually still kind of crack.
But, like, you get a taste of that, like, some actual pizza, okay. Like, you're like, okay, like, this that real deal. Like, or for example, like, you got that homeboy who says he could cook, but then you go home to your mama's cooking, like, you're like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, I see you can make a nice bowl of oatmeal. But I go back to mama's house. She cooking the yams, greens. Come on. I get the biscuits and gravy alongside the grits with the bacon and the eggs. Come on.
Not the grits.
With the French toast and the come on. Come on, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, I had that taste of Fairy Tail, like, okay.
Rise up.
Right? For real, though. But, like, I was getting that taste of, like, Fairy Tail. Oh, this is fire. Right? Like, okay, these niggas are scrapping. And then you go watch Tokyo Ghoul and Naruto, and these niggas are scrapping. You're like, yo. And I don't care what anybody says. Tokyo Ghoul was so fire before they did that RE version of Tokyo Ghoul. But Tokyo Ghoul is fire. I mean, if I had to recommend some 10 animes, Yu Yu Hakusho, Naruto, just make sure you get a filler guide. So filler guides essentially let you know when fillers are coming up, so you could just skip that episode unless you're interested in looking at alternate versions of the experience. Show. Yeah, or you want the full experience of navigating which episode is filler or not, because that was so tragic to me during that time. What else? A
lot of people love filler, old school fillers at least.
I mean, look, Bleach, especially with the 1,000-Year Blood War arc coming up, you can't go wrong with it. I mean, yeah, at first the animation is, isn't the best, but it gets better and it's very much worth it. Man, there's I guess some of the newer animes, you can't go wrong with My Hero, large fan base. Vinland Saga, it's a great anime. I would recommend, and there's different levels to this game though. Like you got your seinen anime, which is like adult anime, where it's like not adult anime like in the pornographic way, but like adult, like more mature, mature audience.
I know you watch Prison School.
Hey, why was that?
That's a seinen, isn't it? Isn't it?
I'm pretty sure it's a shonen. It's a shonen. It's a shonen.
But continue.
But like seinen anime is like slice of life. It can be a slice of life, but it could also be like a horror anime where people are getting their heads decapitated. Speaking of like
everybody
horror,
likes that.
Speaking of horror animes, not even horror anime, but it's like a psycho anime. You can't go wrong with Code Geass and Future Diary. If you're really interested in that thriller feel, Future Diary was a great one. Like I was like, especially with the ending. The ending wasn't the best, but towards the end, it starts piecing up together. It's real nice. There's a lot of them out there, man. But Code Geass and Code Geass, Yu Yu Hakusho are like my two favorite animes of all time.
I can recommend that. Say Sire.
Nah, Saint Seiya, you gotta have
You gotta have a taste for that old school anime.
you gotta have a palate because it's cringy. It's cringy, but you know you gotta have a palate to really embrace it. And
Yeah,
so
don't think I
like yeah, so it's like one of those animes where it feels like you're watching Transformers, like
like the
old school
Gundam animes. Oh my god, I can't.
Hey,
There's probably a few.
Geass is
There's probably a few filthy ones, right? But the really old school, like 70s to 80s Gundam animes, where the people be dead still, and the only thing that's moving is their lips, bro, and they're narrating every second.
Nah, bro, I'm gonna tell you this. Gundam style. I can't speak on Gundam style anime, but most other types of anime from the 90s and 70s, scratch that. If you go from 80s, anywhere 80s to 90s, you'll get some of the most raw anime you could find because they didn't have as many censors as they do now.
That's facts.
So like
a lot of stuff that still goes uncensored for anime, surprisingly.
Yeah,
at least for the source material.
Yeah, for the source material. But like, Brody, you can't tell me, like, in the anime, sure, they'll show a lot of blood, like an arm getting chopped off.
JoJo's is probably one of the most censored for some reason. They wouldn't even show Jotaro smoking a cigarette. I didn't understand that.
Like, they won't even show, like, back then, they would show, like, face contorting type pain and brutalities. Like, I was like, yo, this is crazy. You know, like, especially, like, I'm trying to watch Akira now. Like, the movie, Akira, man, I gotta watch it because I keep hearing nothing but good things about it. Like, it
just seems like one of those messed up movies. But, yeah, I want to watch it, too.
And so, like, I mean, if you guys want, if we get 5 listeners this time around, can we get five listens? If we get 5 listens on this podcast, I'll stream it, and me and Izzy will watch Akira together.
I'm sorry, bro, but sounds like a good way to get clapped on YouTube.
Sounds like no, you don't gotta do it that way, bro. Like there's ways around the clapping mechanisms.
The clapping mechanism.
Yeah, bro. You know, this is coming from one clapping mechanism to another. So.
I knew it. I knew it was coming.
Look, yeah, you set yourself up for that one. Oh man, not again.
So what was your list? You said Naruto, Yu Yu Hakusho, Bleach. You said Code Geass, and what was that? Future Diaries.
Future
My Hero
Diaries,
Academia.
Nice.
So we're missing like 4. Or did
yeah,
you
I
say
mean,
some
I could
other
give
ones?
you. I mean, there's some out there like for if you want to start off. How to Get Girls in Dungeons is a solid one, but there's not a lot of episodes.
That's the one where it's like, is it okay to pick up girls in the bedroom?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's a great one. There's Shield Hero's crazy.
Okay, Rising of a Shield Hero.
That one's fun. But at the same time, the start of it,
it's slow.
It's not slow. It's very controversial because there's like a part of the show where it talks about a false rape claim. And I remember all my feminism, not feminism.
You're
all my
the only
feminists,
ones who run into femheads, bro. Swear. You're the only one who be getting clapped up by feminists.
No, I wasn't getting clapped up. I was looking at the reviews because I was trying to see if I wanted to watch it or not. It was flooded with feminists. Are you serious? You're enabling? I was like, oh,
enabling.
Dog.
If it was truly false, how is that enabling, bro? Like
you're enabling rape. Well, because he's a man talking about a false rape thing.
But if it was truly false, was it like?
Yeah, but since a man wrote the story, they're like.
Since the man wrote about a fictional false rape claim.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, come on, bro. Like,
what?
Like, it wasn't that bad. Like, I could, like, it's not on no Goblin Slayer.
It's canon to the story that it was false and not the truth.
Yeah, so that's a good one. Where am I at? Like 7?
You're at you just hit 8, so you're at 9 now.
Okay. Shoot. Let me go back. Inuyasha.
Okay.
And if you guys want to take a
second ending song, do be cracking.
Mm-hmm. And if you want to take a step into the sports anime realm, go ahead and watch that Hajime no Ippo. That show, like, is also like one of the reasons why I kept on boxing, because it was like the story like was, you know, and they're not
hitters.
Well, like, okay, the story, that's the only show that I know that gave, other than Naruto, that gave like a side character that gives their side characters whole seasons and whole movies just to develop, you know, versus like not too many animes do that. The only anime I know of that has done that has been Naruto with Shikamaru, that like 5th season. And that season was so fire, you know. But yeah, they really focus a lot on that character development, a lot on like, you know, like, kid you not, one of the dopest fight scenes I've seen in a while. It got the juice. It got the juice.
It got the juice.
Yeah, it got the juice, Brody. It got the juice. Oh yeah. Brody hit you with that Dempsey roll, hit you with that Mike Tyson combination. Oh, you're done. You're cooked.
Oh my gosh, that video of Mike Tyson ducking that man's punch and hitting him with the meanest uppercut, bro. Why you even step in the ring with Mike? That's a death.
Bro, this dude said he's back, bro. If this man gets in the ring, I don't care what my dad says. I'm putting money to go see that man fight.
It'd be so disappointing if he lost, bro. But he looks like a hitter still.
Oh yeah.
The way he was beating up that man in his traded outfit.
I know his hands were numb, because like I've
he walked away. He literally put him down in the middle and walked away, bro.
Yeah, bro. I can only imagine. You see, I mean, no homo, but you see how big that nigga's back is. You see how big that nigga's back is. Like, bro, come on now. Come on. That man got the meatiest back I've seen in a while. Cuddy straight hit you with that hook, because you got to think how much muscle is back there. Like, low-key, like, you see how, like, grizzly bears have that hump on their back? That's
his hands probably feel like leather, too, bro.
Oh,
that's
bro.
terrible.
Like, you get hit with that, bro. It's nighty-night, nigga. Like, grab your blanket, tuck you in the bed.
Put your pillow on the mat, bro. Put your pillow on the mat.
He ain't swinging like KSI and Logan. Nah, this a real boxer. This a real boxer.
No hugging, bro. No hugging.
No hugging. Oh man, that's funny.
Freaking So you hit your 10 recommendations. So let me try to hit mine without repeating anything that you said. So I got for starters, if you like something a little more weird, but definitely heavily story driven, you gotta watch JoJo's. You have to. That first season, or not even, well, yeah, the first season. That first episode, matter of fact, is probably the most like action filled first episode of any anime, or even like story filled, because there was so much that happened in that 22 minutes. It doesn't feel like it was only one episode. They have a whole it was either 7. Yeah, it was a whole 7-year time skip in the first episode. It doesn't feel rushed at all. That's what really captured me on JoJo's, was watching that very first episode. So if you got the time, definitely give JoJo's a chance. And they, the creator Hirohiko Araki, he actually changed it up quite a bit in the middle, and I felt like it didn't feel that out of place. It still feels like the same anime to me. But
I mean, and you know, I remember I watched the first season with you. You know,
right?
That, you know, and like, again, JoJo's is one of those animes you have to almost seek it out, because like you have to know what you're getting into. Right. Because if you, like, again, as a first intro anime, like, you have to like want the desire to watch that show, because like if not, you're gonna feel like kind of overwhelmed, because the story is so rich. Like, the story is one of the most rich stories I've had thus far. Like, and like that first season, like the amount of depth it goes into, and like
for those types of, like, that first episode was just wild. Didn't make no sense, and it was just ridiculous. There's just too much happening. You gotta go watch that. If you do anything, at least go watch that first episode. But if I can encourage you, watch that first episode and watch through the rest of the season, because how they do it is they don't split it up particularly by season. What they do is they split it up by part. So it's all each character. So each part has a new character, right? But it's all part of the same story. So that part 2 slaps harder, way like 100 times harder than part 1.
Yeah,
that part 2 is, it's definitely my favorite part of JoJo's for sure. But yeah, JoJo's is a great watch. So if you got the time, definitely go put that on. It's also it can be a little bit comedy, but for the second anime, I gotta hit you with something a little bit darker, but definitely something that'll make you. I don't know if it'll change the way that you look at things or people, but it'll definitely like make you think a little bit, right? And it's super interesting. It's super entertaining. Go watch Death Note. That show is it, at times it's very, very dark, but the characters are so smart and the story is so well written that the characters really feel like they feel real. Maybe not to our world, but they definitely feel like they live in a like realistic world. Right? You definitely feel like when you're watching it that the characters, even though when you think about it, it's a little bit crazy because obviously someone's writing a story and they're writing all the dialogue for these characters and they're creating the characters and whatnot and how they think, quote unquote, right? But like you really do believe that these characters are kind of like thinking for themselves because it just gets really wild and really psychological for sure.
Yeah.
But that show, that's a great watch too. So we hit you with the JoJo's and the Death Note. They're very different in genre for sure, but both great animes. And I got a few people that'll definitely vouch that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like here's the thing. Like my equivalent to that was definitely Code Geass. I watched Death Note first and then Code Geass. But you know, you can watch them, you know, like they're both very psychological. They make you think. And it's real fun to really try to keep up with their thought process. Like and it's so satisfying how great they piece it together, man. Like
for sure.
That was the thing that really got me like okay, it feels like you're going one direction completely and then boom, you're like, how the hell did we get here? Like, and they're like, but listen. You're asking yourself how the hell we got here, but it makes sense that you're here. Like, and that's like,
they even be like explaining it to you too, like not in like a way to like dumb it down or anything, but as if they're like explaining it to any other person, right? Or even if they're just talking to themselves to process it, right? And the explanation is so smooth. It's like how could you yourself not have thought of something so like so simple, something so obvious,
and like it's so dope because it's like they don't even gotta explain it to you. Sometimes they just let the visuals talk because like. Potato chip scene is the most fire scene in that whole show, bro. You're listening to us now, but like, you'll once you see the potato chip bag, you'll know.
For sure. If there's one thing you do tonight or tomorrow or whenever this goes up, definitely go look up on YouTube or even just go watch the series until you get to the part. But look up. I'll take a chip and I eat it. It's one of the most ridiculous. But like when you're watching it, you don't really even think about it. To be honest, it just makes sense for the show.
Oh, bro, it was so fire because like
and those the OSTs and the character themes crack so hard.
Oh my god,
it definitely sets the tone and the theme of the entire show.
Well, like yo, if you thought that scene from Fast and the Furious 6 when they like switched the like car back into that garbage truck and how it just went all the way around and like how they had the safe all in the back of the garbage truck and you're like, whoa, how'd they do that? And they tell you how they did it at the end. This show is like that every episode, but times 10, bro. Like you're really like, yo, like this dude is filthy, like,
for sure. And another thing about it is that you'll see that the main character, and I think this is something interesting because I haven't witnessed it in any other show. I'm sure there's obviously some of them out there, but you'll see a character or the main character go from being a genuinely good guy or a seemingly good guy, to just his character getting worse and worse, and him becoming he really turns himself into a villain, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like there's never a point in the show where you dislike him. There's never a single point where you dislike him. And I think it's very interesting where the main character isn't the protagonist, but is the antagonist of the series.
Well, you know, and that's why, like, for me, if I wanted to match your anime, Code Geass does something very, very similar. Like, I see it all the time. You'll get posts, they're like, who's the smartest? Is it Light? Is it Lelouch? Is it Conan? Now, that's another good show, but I won't say it's a good show. It's slow. But if you're interested...
They're talking about Case
Detective.
Closed?
Yeah, Case Closed.
Nah, that's my third recommendation. That's my third recommendation.
It's like 1,000+ episodes, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's 1,000. I think it's definitely pretty close. I think they have like somewhere near like Simpsons level of seasons. I think they're at like 27 or something like that.
I think they're around the same amount of episodes as One Piece.
Yeah, no, that show is very good. That's what else I was gonna say about it, is that in the way that it's similar to Death Note, is the thinking process of each character. It always makes it's a detective show, right? So there's always like a crime that happened, and the main character always solves the crime by the end of the episode. Or sometimes there's like a 2 or 3 parter, but he always solves the crime, right? But his thinking process isn't something that ever seems like elevated, or like he has an unnatural, like almost supernatural or like alien amount of knowledge given to him about anything. It's nothing like there's this many atoms in a room and I could sense that there's this many that have gone and that means that this happened or whatever. It's always something that's very obvious when everything is put together, and almost that you, the viewer, should have already known this or been able to put this together on your own. And that's what I really like about Case Closed, or how it's changed its name to Detective Conan.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's the only reason why I wouldn't recommend those shows, is because those shows do feel big when you start them out because they're so long. But if you really like are interested in the story, it'll carry you. Because I remember I watched. It took me a year to actually catch up to One Piece, but that was because I'll take breaks because that show is so long. But you know, I was almost caught up by my 3rd month of watching it, and people are like 3 months of watching it, but I was still in high school playing football and other things, and still keeping up with a whole relationship at the time. And I still caught up. I caught up to the show relatively fast, like, and those types of shows where the shows are very long are some of the best, because a lot of these new animes are like only 12 episoders or 24 episoders, and it's like you finish them and you're in a hole, like, bro, I want more, but there's nothing more left, you know. So that's another good thing about a long running anime like that. And I heard the movies for Conan is so good. Oh my
for sure,
gosh.
for sure.
I heard the movies are so good.
That's why they got so many. They be cracking like my voice. Those movies be cracking.
Oh man, yeah, that's
those movies go crazy. Because see, the way I got into it was, I don't even know how old I was. I was probably like a little bit around, like probably like 5 or 6. But I remember my aunt, because she's a big anime head and a big anime fan and whatnot. She used to watch that show, and me and my sister would like sit by her or whatever while she was watching it. And so me and my sister, eventually, when we were growing, we decided to go out and watch it on our own, because it was on Netflix and stuff like that. And so we'd go on like anime sites or whatever. We'd go and watch the show, but we'd always stop and watch the movies because the show is so long. Just like One Piece, there's a very limited amount of the dub for it. So after a certain point, there's just no more dub. It's just purely the source. It's just subtitled, right? And so a lot of those movies would be dubbed because it was like, it made more sense than continuing to dub the series, because you could just put out one big project.
Yeah.
But we'd watch those movies, and those movies were always so well thought out. They were always like, I don't understand how the creator, or the creators, if there's more than one by this point, can come up with such like good like stories or like such elaborate crimes
and not make it repetitive.
Well, not only that, but they can also like find the obvious tie between. It's almost like the person who made it was a detective themselves.
Yeah.
And like a highly capable detective at that.
Yeah. And it's like it's so hard to make a good anime movie because I've seen my fair share of anime movies.
Yeah.
And about 7 out of 10 times I'm disappointed. Like Naruto movies are about mediocre at best. One Piece has some fire anime movies, but it's also been running for a very long time, similar to Conan.
Yeah.
You know, I hope Yu Yu Hakusho has a good anime movie.
That's how I feel about Inuyasha, because Inuyasha got like 4 of them or something like that. Every time I go on Netflix, I'm like, why is there another Inuyasha movie on here?
Yeah, I'm like, do I want to watch it or not? But yeah.
But the other thing I want to say, because you touched on the fact that you said that like the story is there's a lot of episodes, so there's a lot of story. The thing is, it's like a very loose story, and by that I mean that the episodes, you don't really have to watch them in order for the most part. You can just hop in wherever you want and find a good episode and watch it and enjoy it, because a lot of times the story is revolved around the crime that was committed rather than what actually takes place at the beginning of the show. And slight spoiler, the main character goes through a little bit of a transformation. He becomes kind of like a different person, as you could say. Right? And so he's trying to go back to being his original self. And that's like the loose story, right? Because it's very simple. It's a very simple plot, like Demon Slayer, if I'm going to make that my 4th recommendation. Right? Where you could very well sum up, like, and say how stupid or how simple the story is, but I feel like you don't really watch it because of that. You watch it because you enjoy everything in between. Because the story in Demon Slayer is the main character, Tanjiro. He has a large family. Goes out one day to the market to go trade or whatnot, and he comes back and he finds that his family had been killed. He lost everybody, and he finds his sister, right, had been the only one who was alive, or he thought she was alive, but it turns out that she had his family was killed by demons, so she had been transformed into a demon. And now his quest is to find the one who transformed her into one and turn her back into a human, right? So he has at least one more part of his family, right? And that's very simple, right? But it's everything in between that makes everything interesting. All the character development, all the cool abilities, all the great fights he has, everything to reclaim that one bit, which would be his sister. Oh, everything to do that. That's what really engages me, besides the great animation. Right? It has good characters, good development, a good plot for a good plot development, I should say. A good way everything plays out. So for my 4th recommendation, go watch Demon Slayer. It's a really solid anime. Everybody says it's super overrated. That may be true, but I feel like it gets the love it gets because it's just good. So say what you will about that. Number 5, I don't know why this one came so late on my list, because it's literally my favorite anime, but go watch Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Super. But honestly, I didn't watch Dragon Ball, so I'm not going to hate if nobody else watches it. Right, I heard it's really good, and I won't say it's not. I'd say that it's probably really good for the time period and for it being what's his name? I always remember the mangaka's name, but this one time I forget him, and that's very sad because it's my favorite. It's like a Rocky. It's Akira Toriyama. For one of Akira Toriyama's first works, it's probably really good. But Dragon Ball Z is my favorite. Right, good characters, good development, good story, and it's just something that'll keep you definitely engaged in what's happening. Like, I remember my sister, she doesn't seek out shonen very much, so it's fairly rare when she'll sit down and watch something that I'm watching. And so Dragon Ball Z being one of the things that really caught her eye, and then she would sit there and watch with me, even though it was just 2 men beating the crap out of each other and throwing ki blasts and whatnot. But yeah, that story is really good. It starts in a good place, it ends in a good place, in my opinion. So if you have the time, go watch that. It's definitely a very shonen, and by that I mean it's very very formulaic in terms of a character being super powerful or just being that people are fighting and beating each other up. So yeah, we have what did I say? I said, what was the first anime I said? So we have Dragon Ball Z, I mean. We have Dragon Ball Z, we have Death Note, we have Detective Conan / Case Closed. And I said two more, right? I said, oof, why can I not remember the first one I said? Well, obviously you heard it, whatever it was. And then the fifth one that I can't remember. Crap. But for the sixth recommendation, I'd say, it was JoJo's. JoJo's was the first one. I don't know why I forgot that, but I just now remembered it. JoJo's was the first one. But my other recommendation was Demon Slayer. Anyway, my sixth recommendation is trying to think of an old school anime that was really good that I really enjoyed. He already said Yu Yu Hakusho though. That's actually he stole one of my favorite anime. But yeah, go watch Yu Yu Hakusho for the second time that someone's been saying this. Go watch it. It's a really great anime. But then I'll spin that and say another work that Togashi has made and go watch Hunter x Hunter. That's a really great anime. From beginning to end, I was very enthralled. I was very interested in everything that happened. The characters are great. I would say that my not my least favorite, but one of the characters that wasn't so great in my opinion is probably the main character, and not because he's a bad guy or anything, but because he was very absorbed by his own task, even though he's a very kind character. He's very absorbed by his own quest and his own task that he didn't really care for his so-called best friend in the show. In my opinion, Killua, he kind of let him injure himself and do whatever was necessary for him to continue on his own path. But Hunter x Hunter, very enjoyable. That last arc in the anime is definitely one of my favorite anime arcs of all time. That the what's it called? The Chimera Ants arc. That was just a very, 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 very solid arc. It was kind of long, but it never felt like they were prolonging it or dragging it out. It was just so interesting to me. That's another shonen. People beat each other up, whatnot. It's just really good. The energy system that they use, it's not like ki or like Naruto chakra or anything or like magic. It's called Nen, and it's like one of those energy systems where it's based off of power that humans can possess or that they put out through their own body and not something else. So it's like spirit power, I guess. So that one is my sixth recommendation was Hunter x Hunter. My seventh, I watched a lot. I would say probably one that goes out of genre for shonen type animes. I'd say the time I was reincarnated as a slime, because I can't speak for some reason. That is a very, very, very solid slice of life cross shonen type anime. That was just a good anime all the way through. I was never bored or disinterested with anything that was happening. I was very, very interested in the world building and like how everything was playing out. I was very interested in that, even though if I look back on it, there's not a lot that happens per se, but it was just interesting everything that was happening. So I'll give you a brief summary of the story for that one. It's like, I realized I didn't give summaries for the other ones, but it's like a character, right? He's in his 30s. He's a male. He lives in the regular world. He basically gets shot and killed, and before he's dying, he says a bunch of things like he describes death and his feelings and his emotions, and says all the things that he regrets not being able to do and whatnot, and if he were alive again, what he would do instead. And basically this little kind of sounds like a machine or computer is logging everything that he's saying, and for everything that he says death feels like, it basically gives him the ability to be immune or invulnerable, or invulnerable to those things, right? So he'll say something like, "Oh, it's so cold," right? And it'll be like, "Oh, you've been tempered," right? Like you'll no longer you have a high temperament, so cold weather or hot weather won't do anything to you, basically, right? And so he comes back into I want to say like an RPG kind of world where it's like a fantasy, and he's reincarnated as the lowliest creature in this world. He's a slime, right? He's not supposed to be able to do anything, but as the story unfolds, you see that he's actually one of the most powerful creatures in his world because of all the enhancements he gave himself by describing what he's feeling before he died and everything like that. And so the first person he meets is a dragon, right? And he learns how to he doesn't have eyeballs because he's slime, but he learns how to see like magic and stuff like that. And he finally develops eyes, right? And is able to see the massive dragon in front of him, and he consumes it, giving him like exponential power. Because the dragon was said to be basically like the strongest creature in the land, right? And although the main character is so overpowered, later on there's characters who are more powerful than he is. Um, but what was I gonna say? Even though he's so overpowered, it never bothers me, or it never made me feel frustrated watching the show that the character basically had no struggle, because that's not ever something I was focused on. It was just the world building and the character development and his interactions with this new surrounding he was in. I think these animes are called isekais, where basically a human or just somebody from like the normal world is transported to somewhere completely new and completely foreign to them. But yeah, that's my seventh recommendation. What did I say it was? It's called Time I Was Reincarnated as Slime. My eighth, I literally just had this one in my mind, and of course, everything blanks on me. My eighth recommendation would be see some more stuff that I watched that I really really enjoy. Let me delve back into my mind. Gosh, I've watched so many anime. It's really hard to remember a lot of them, but they were memorable, I assure you. A good 10-part anime was Blood Lad. Blood Lad is just it's about, so there's a vampire, right, and he's the king of his little demon world, right? And he's like a huge anime fan, and he's a really big fan of like the human world. So the demon world and the human world are basically like mirrors of each other in a way, right? So if you're a human, you'll always have like a doppelganger in the demon world and vice versa, right? And so he's like the king, right? Everybody wants to take his place, and to take the place of the king, you just have to kill him, right? And so what happens is, because like I said, it's a mirror world, right? So there's a doorway to get between the two. So demons could go over there, humans could go over there, right? But a lot of the time, the humans don't know that they can go to the demon world. So some girl stumbles and she ends up falling into his world. And obviously, being a big fan of the human world, right? He's super like interested in this girl and wants to know everything about her and whatnot. And like I was saying, people want to be the king, so they're trying to take his place. They accidentally end up killing the girl, right? And his one goal is to basically bring her back. But because she's no longer a human, he's like completely disinterested in her. So he's just trying to bring her back to being alive again and put her back into her own world. But yeah, that anime was really good. I was actually very disappointed that it only had 10 episodes, because it was like so good in my opinion. One of the funniest parts of that show was when, like I said, the main character, I forget his name, but he was a really big anime fan, like I said. And for one of his ultimate attacks that he was trying to develop, right, because he discovered his like power and whatnot, and the first thing he tried to do was do a Kamehameha, and it was working, but the dude wasn't spending all his time wasting just watching him and letting him perform the Kamehameha, right? So in the middle of his like Kamehameha, he like slaps him, and he's like, "You're right, I'm not worthy of this ability." And I just thought it was so funny, because all the side characters are like, "I think if he does that, we'll get sued. Like, you stop." Right? For my ninth recommendation, I'd say Megalobox. Megalobox is a really, really great anime. I think it has like somewhere between 10 to 13 episodes, something like that. It's another short anime, but it's really, really good. It's about, basically it's like a futuristic world where regular boxing doesn't really exist anymore. It's like an evolved version of boxing, where you cross humans with technology, and they basically wear these giant exoskeletons, and they try to beat the crap out of each other. And this one character in the show, they call him Joe because, because he lives in their city kind of illegally, right? So he doesn't really have a birth certificate or anything like that. All he knows is that he likes to box, and so his only way for getting income was to go and do dog fights, basically, where he was pitted against another person, and they'd like rig the fight to be he'd always go down to make the other person go higher in rank. But he meets this guy who has a bit of a gambling problem, right? And he's also like a really, really great boxing trainer before everything went down. And so he meets this guy, and the guy's in a bit of trouble, and he basically tells like one of the people that he owes money, or like the biggest person he owes money, who's like a big mafia member. He basically tells him that, he'll train up this guy named Joe, and they'll go and they'll win I don't even know if it was to win, but they were gonna go as high as they could in the boxing series, right, that they were competing in, and they were gonna go win all this money back, right, as long as he gave him an extension, and he'd be able to pay him back after he won. Right, and so he's been training Joe this whole time, but Joe can never get used to using a mech, or his exoskeleton. So his whole gimmick to rise very fast in the ranks is to fight everyone, right, every opponent without using a mech. And he's way better than them, right? Because in a way it kind of talks about the fact that the exoskeletons, because people rely on them so heavily, they really slow you down as a boxer, and so he's better without them. But yeah, Megalobox, go watch that. It's a great anime, great boxing anime for sure.
Hey, did you watch that like knockoff version of it on Netflix, bro?
Oh,
or did you see
everybody was saying that was Megalobox. I forgot what it's called though.
Oh man, I'm looking for it now. Like literally right now, I'm looking for it.
Yeah, my friend literally messaged me. He's like, "Bro, tell me this ain't Megalobox." I was like, "I mean, it has a pretty different premise."
I mean, it's just the whole mech. But I think there's also another anime that does that too. So,
but yeah. That was my 9th, and so now we got to move on to my 10th recommendation for anime. It's hard trying to find anime that you didn't say by this point, but I'm trying to think of stuff that I've watched because there's so much of it. There's so much crap I watched. Oh, how did I not mention this? It's not really, it's a shonen, right? And it has great fight scenes, although you won't see them until you get like 50 episodes in. But regardless, it's a great comedy anime to watch. It's Gintama or Gintama. I don't know exactly how to say it. I think it is Gintama. But Gintama is a great comedy anime. I think nearly every episode I enjoyed and I laughed at least once watching it. It's just a great, like, the comedy translates fairly well for it being a Japanese comedy. Like, it translates very well to English. Mm-hmm. That was another one of those kind of animes where it's not that it's very long, but because it's such an odd anime and because it's supposed to be comedy, they have a lot of guest voices on there and a lot of characters speaking at once and stuff like that, right? And so it's one of those animes where for it to be translated and made for an English audience, it was hard to do because there was always so many characters talking that they'd have to hire like new voice actors every episode, basically. And like when you see one of the instances where they did try to translate an episode, it's very, very strange and off-putting. So this is one of those animes that's just definitely better subbed than dubbed, even though they don't have that many dubbed episodes anyway. But yeah, Gintama is a great anime. It has a great story too, which is very weird because as much as the story doesn't seem out of place, it you never really expected the show to have a story in the first place. it's a brief summary if I can give one. Basically, this is Edo era Japan, right? And so there's still samurai and ninjas and whatnot. But basically this was like what would happen if Edo era Japan got taken over by aliens, right? With all this advanced technology and stuff like that. And so it's like a futuristic past, basically. So they have all the stuff that we have now, but it's set in like an older era, a way older era, right? And so in one of the last fights between the humans and the aliens, right, which the humans famously lost, Gintoki, which is the main character, he fights against the aliens, and he's known on the battlefield as like the Silver Death or something like that, something like really like crazy, right? Because he killed so many aliens on his own, right? But obviously he lost, and he's known as the last person in Japan or in the world to have a true samurai soul, right? And so that's why everybody kind of looks up to him in a way, even though he's like a big goofball and like he's really immature because he's only like 18, or I think he might be 28 now. But at the time he was fighting the war, he's only like 18. But he has such a rooted backstory, and like once they delve into that even like a little bit, you get a taste wanting more. But you never mind all the episodes in between, which you could count as filler. But it's just like going back to the normal formula of it being a comedy anime and not to be taken too seriously anyway, right? But it's really crazy to see a comedy anime transition from being like funny and jokey and like randomness between each episode to being something very serious and having like really well done fight scenes and like actual character development like any other regular shonen. But everybody I've heard talk about the show has loved it. It's always on like top 10 anime lists and whatnot, and like top 10 protagonists or whatever. But yeah, go watch Gintama if you haven't.
You know an anime that I started watching like earlier today?
What?
It's called Rainbow, bro.
And
like, if you hear the name Rainbow, what do you think the anime is about?
A rainbow?
Oh, bro.
It's in the name, bro.
Bro, it's like the saddest anime I've watched in a minute, and that's just off the first episode. So essentially, it's about these boys who are in jail, but it's like showing like the real horrors of jail. Like the young nigga really got bald spots and like scars. Like no, like it's really like showing like what it's like to be in jail.
Yeah,
like,
bald spots.
Abuse. Yeah, bro. Like I was like, Jesus Christ! But it's like unnaturally graphic in how it is, and I was like, bro, like certain like, and this is like the only reason I found out is because like I was watching like top 10 underappreciated anime today. And broski, like it was the number one on the list, and I was like, okay, I'll check it out, cause like, but the reason why I thought about it because there was an anime that like showed before, and it was like it's called like Hina Matsuri. I heard about it, but it's people say it's kind of slice of lifey, and you know how that joke goes.
Yeah,
what's happening in the next episode,
bro? Nothing,
bro.
What do you think is gonna happen in the next episode, bro? Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. They're gonna go do life. You know. But yeah, like it was crazy, bro. Like I was just like watching that first episode. It's very interesting. I don't think I'm gonna finish it though. Like I don't know. Like there's a few anime that I've actually invested in. Yeah, bro. Actually, I'm low key mad at you. Low key were shaming me for watching Netflix animes, bro.
Netflix animes are not all that good, bro. There's a few, bro, but they're not all that good.
You know who introduced me to Death Note?
Who?
Netflix.
That's not even a Netflix anime.
It doesn't matter.
It's on Netflix, but it's not a Netflix. I'm talking about Netflix original anime. Or the so-called Netflix original anime.
Okay, check out that Magi and come talk to me.
I don't think I will.
Yeah.
I'll watch an episode.
Hey, no, that's another anime I'd happily recommend is Magi. Magi went ridiculous. That's
not gonna recommend Beastars.
Is the door? Go find the nearest door and walk out of it.
Hey, bro, you were the first to watch it. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, you're right. I watched it. I watched it because my friend told me the manga was fire. And
That anime is
and
wacky.
just for you guys to know, we're not friends no more. like, like I was like, nothing against the furry community, but that's a furry anime.
No,
For
for sure.
I mean,
I really didn't like how the animals had like animal heads and tails and maybe even feet, right? But then they had super like human bodies with no hair, like the rabbit, bro. That messed me up. I was like, nah.
or like how like they still make them drawn to scale, like how
Oh
the
my,
rabbit,
yeah, that was
or like how there's like the mice that were like super small.
for
You're
real.
like, don't step on me. But then you got elephants in there who are like hella big, so you're just looking like, what the heck?
That show, it's interesting. It's
It was
interesting.
interesting.
I won't
But
say I disliked watching it because I watched the episode and I felt compelled to watch the next one. But that show is definitely weirder than I will have liked it to be.
yeah, especially that last episode where they're
Oh, for sure, for she and that lion that was like, I didn't want to to defile you before, but now it seems I have to. That was not cool.
that was forced.
That was not
forced.
that was not
That was
okay.
forced. It was forced. Like, for real. Like, they really just wanted to put a little baby rape scene in there.
I wasn't cool with that. I was like nah.
It felt like Goblin Slayer. Niggas was like literally that first episode didn't need that many rape scenes.
That meant there's more than one. Hell nah.
Oh, you turned it off?
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it.
3 Feezies get raped the first episode.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's why we didn't recommend Goblin Slayer.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
so
not even.
unacceptable.
There's not even any substance to that. There's no meaning to it at all.
Now, another anime I'd happily recommend, and this is in my like top 10, top 15
Berserk
animes. Hell no.
Oh.
The anime is garbage. The manga's fire. But Full Metal Alchemist.
Which one? Okay.
Brotherhood is so fire. I mean,
I haven't watched it. I've heard it's super good though.
It's one of the best animes I've ever watched. And literally, like, the story is fire. The history is fire. The premise is fire. Like because they're dealing with alchemy, so it's like a form of science, but it gives you more of that magical thing. And it's a weird show. It's very weird. It can be very dark. No, it's a dark show. It gets pretty dark. Like the first episode is pretty sad and it's very dark. Like the whole premise of the show is very dark, but it's just what they made out of it was so fire. That's a good one I would recommend if you're like a more mature audience. Like if you're younger, like I said, I put some baby weight out there for you guys to chew on. But here's if you really want to go and just jump into the deep end, check out Full Metal. Yeah, bro.
All right, we're sitting at an hour and 23 minutes in.
Yeah, we should probably get ready to wrap it up. we'll I don't know.
We got there's a few more things I want to talk about briefly. Yeah, before we gotta hop onto this track.
I got yeah. Go ahead. I got a couple things I wanted to talk about too. So go ahead.
So last time we talked about Post Malone, or at least I talked about Post Malone a little bit, and it seems at least I got like 3 people coming at me a little bit for our little trying to pin him to a genre thing. Like one of my friends was like, "Oh, he's just an artist. He's just an artist. Like you shouldn't have to classify him. He's an artist. He makes art." I get that.
Before we go there, I want to stay on this little topic about anime real quick before we transition to that. What is the greatest anime opening and endings you've heard?
I feel like we got to say that for the next one. This is it's gonna get too long.
No. Just give me your favorite right now.
Because I got to think about that one. I got.
Just right now. Give me your favorite anime and opening and ending.
Opening, it's gotta be Bloody Storm or Bloody Stream.
And that's on which anime?
And that's on JoJo's. JoJo's Part 2, Bloody Stream. Ending. There's so many great endings. Crap. If I had to just pick one off the top of my head, one of the best. Oh, hold up. Let me change the JoJo's real quick. Let me change that. It's got to be Smile Bomb. Smile Bomb in Yu Yu Hakusho. And the best ending. I'm gonna give that to Inuyasha, the second ending.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, man. For me, my favorite opening still to this day is definitely Bluebird from Naruto. That one just always like it has so much memories to it. It's not necessarily that it's just the most like artistically sound out there.
Right.
And my favorite ending at this moment though, not like of all time, but at this moment has to be Blue Dream from Saint Seiya. That Blue Dream.
Bro, there's a Dragon Ball song that reminds me a lot of that, and I'll tell you about that after the podcast. Yeah. But yeah, no, those are solid. Those are very, very solid.
They got a theme going on. They're both blue. Blue Dream,
yeah. But I also like that. You are my friend.
Yes, that went hard too. Oh yes, bro. Oh, bro, I'm about to bump that.
Yeah, that actually goes hard for sure. But yeah. Before we had to hop on this track because we got about 3 minutes left. Let me just address these things. So my homeboy was saying that Post Malone, he's just an artist. He makes art. I understand that. But for sure, you could put him in a genre of music. Like, he's not really a rapper. He's really not. Like, even he doesn't classify himself as a rapper.
Well, that's what I said. I feel like I felt like I classified him perfectly as a pop artist.
He's a pop artist. He makes
popular music. I feel like that's kind of the end of the discussion at that point.
Right. And my girlfriend said it was a bit silly that we were thinking that he has to only be pinned to one genre, and then she feels like artists make music for multiple genres, and yes, that is true, but I feel like a lot of them capitalize on one specific one, and especially a genre being so broad as like rap music. There's a lot of different rap. There's hard rap. There's trap music. All that type of stuff. Right?
You know what my girlfriend said?
Nothing.
You hear that?
Silence.
Silence.
Sound like Ja.
She don't exist, nigga.
But nobody's gonna pick up on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like it's very easy to classify him. It like, especially with something so broad. But anyway, my dad said he kind of criticized me for being a fan of Post Malone. He said, yeah, because I said that, maybe I listen to too much Post Malone. He's like, too much mayonnaise. And he's like, that guy is the Elvis Presley of our time. Now, I didn't really understand that comment, as Elvis Presley was actually stealing music from black people. Well, I think this guy is, I don't think he's having like a lot of black people write his music, and I think he writes his own stuff, as all his stuff pretty much sounds the same, and I feel like it's very different to anything else that's being made in the rap genre of things, right? And then he showed me a video of Charlemagne the God, kind of roasting him a little bit on the fact that that when he was at an interview with them, he said a few silly things, and those two things, the first being that this wasn't an interview with Charlemagne the God, but at another interview with somebody else, I forget who, but he basically said that when he's trying to feel something or think a little bit or cry or whatever, he does not listen to hip hop, and kind of tells his fans not to listen to hip hop, and that he listens to like Bob Dylan and stuff like that. And while he was saying those things, and I don't agree with them at all, because there's so many hip hop songs and so much hip hop music that makes you think and makes you feel emotions, right? I think what he was really talking about was like trap music or hard rap. That's literally there's no like brain in that, right? You're just talking about violence and how hard you are, and how what set you rep, and what guns you toted, and how many Negroes you killed and whatnot. Of course you're not gonna cry to a song like that, right? I think he was describing something totally different, and he, being as young as he is, he just said the wrong thing.
No, at the end of the day, real niggas don't cry, so we don't need to.
You're right. They weep. Real niggas weep. Real niggas don't cry, they weep.
Nah, bro. No,
Yeah.
bro. You're disrespecting the nigga tree.
The nigga tree.
Yes, yes.
And he also said in Charlemagne the God, if you know anything about Charlemagne the God or have seen any of their or heard any of the radio shows or anything like that or interviews, you know Charlemagne the God is very blunt. And not even just blunt, but he's borderline disrespectful a lot of the times and likes to just say stuff to catch.
He still owes 6ix9ine a blowjob.
Huh?
He still owes 6ix9ine a blowjob.
I'm weak. Oh yeah, because he said he'd blow him if he got out or something like that, didn't he?
Yeah.
But no, freaking. He likes to catch people off guard and say crazy stuff, right? Right, and so one of the things that he said to 6ix9ine, one of the things he said to Post Malone was, "What are you doing?" Like in the middle of Post Malone talk, he's like, "So what are you doing to help the Black Lives Matter movement?" And I feel like a lot of this was mostly just because he's a white guy. Because I feel like if it was a black dude, he wouldn't have said anything to them, right? About that, just because it's just like I don't know, it's very random, right? And Post Malone was like, "Oh, I don't know. I guess I could just make more music." He's like, "Oh, so you're not doing anything. You could have just said nothing." I was like, okay, well, that's very dismissive and asshole-ish. You really did catch him off guard, like hella off guard. Like, even as a black male myself, I feel like I wasn't doing much for the Black Lives Matter movement, and that's only because I didn't look into what I could be doing to show my support or to, like, support it further, although I do believe Black Lives Matter. Obviously, I'm black.
Yeah.
But, well, I mean, obviously, also, you know, again, Post Malone, he's only like 24. Around that time, he's probably like 22, 23. He's a very young artist. In my mind, when it's almost like a kid is up there, right?
Listen. At the end of the day, there's only one movement that matters, and that's the Black Waifu movement. And that's the Black Waifu Matters movement.
Yeah, you're terrible. You're terrible.
At the end of the day, we need more black anime waifus. And that's it. I mean, you see Yoruichi, you see Miriko, you got them all over the place, and they're beautiful, they're wonderful, and they're always strong. And that's the only movement Post Malone should support. You know, because the world wouldn't cease to exist without waifus, let alone our beautiful black waifus. So there we go. Fuck Charlemagne. I don't like him.
Yeah, no, he sometimes he's funny, sometimes he's just a bit of an asshole. I think one of the things, if he'd like to be on his own donkey of the day, he said the first time him and his wife had sex was rape. So,
are you serious?
Yes.
Yikes.
There goes that. But
yeah.
I don't know if you we're at an hour and 32 minutes in. I don't know if you want to still hop on this track or you want to just cut it here.
Yeah, let's hop on this track.
Okay, well we're gonna have to. I'll just put it in. I'll just find a beat. What kind of beat are we looking for?
Let's you know what? I was watching YouTube today, and I was watching KSI throwing that KSI type beat.
Yikes! This is about to be hard as hell. This is about to be hella fast. You should just look up freaking. What kind of rap is UK classified as?
I got you. KS.
Hold up. I'm playing it right now.
Hold on.
No.
I got you.
All right, did you find something? There's a lot of silence over here on the podcast. Sorry, I tried to play a KSI type beat, and it played a video from KSI where he's reacting to KSI type beats, and I'm not amused by KSI. KSI x Rick Ross x Lil Baby. Yeah. I didn't even know they had the same type beats. Okay.
Let's see what you got.
Oh, I gotta go first again? No, I went first last time. Go ahead. Spit that super hot fire.
Okay.
Yikes. Hey, R.I.P. Pop.
Okay. I like this though.
Okay,
I like this.
The opening is a little bit slow though.
I just like the vibe. It better hit though. It better hit. Okay.
24 degrees.
This is about to be 5 ever, bro.
5 ever. Okay.
All right. So can we get to the bass drop?
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right. This is a little baby type beat.
Yeah. 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 Brand new whip like little baby. Catch me whipping my Mercedes.
What?
Body whipping. Catch me tripping. Ice on my wrist, I am dripping. Yeah. You know how I am and flip it. Yeah. You know how I get digits. Yeah. You know I go get digits. Yeah. Yes, I'm a boss. Yes, I go flex. Yes, I got your chick. She on my neck. Scratch that. I'm about to go get some neck. When she ready, go hit on the deck. Cause she crazy. Got bliss like Shrek. All green. Feels like Shrek. She can go do the things that I did not do. Look. Listen. I said, I am a menace, I am a monster. I am a boss, I am a mobster. Eating sushi, lemon, and lobster. You know how I go, hit it, offer. Yes, I am the boss, I got it. You know me, I'm moving robotic. All in my leg, all bionic. Kick the ball, call it Sonic. Running hard. Yeah. Yes, I go. Yeah. Go yard. Yeah. Catch it in my fro. Yeah. All black Negro. Yeah. All black Negro, yeah. All black Negro, yeah. Watch it in my fro, yeah. Afro sheen. Coming clean. Body shots hit your spleen, yeah. Body shots hit your spleen, yeah. Yes, I am. I'm done. I can't think of nothing.
I'm weak, man. I just said freestyle. This man made a whole song. All right. Let me hop on. See the watch on my wrist is a bust down. Stop it. Find me some ice and you know I'm gonna cop it. On this beat, on the mic, I'ma drop it. Pick it up, put it in reverse. Stop. Found me some ops. Lay him down on the road. It's no. Lay him down on the road and it's no. It don't matter cause you know I go and flow. It don't matter cause you know this flow hot though. We gon' heat it up. Pick it a beat. He can beat it up.
I got you.
Yeah. Shawty in her back, and you know she throw it crazy. It don't even matter cause you know her aunt lazy. Bag on the head, and you know I make it Stacy.
Look, hey, you ready, bro? I got you, bro. I got you, mate. Look. Oh, wait. Check it. Look. You ready? I'm finna go off. KSI type beat, right? I got you, mate. Look.
Oi.
Like, I look at this nigga like, what are you thinking? I got all this power in my. She give me what? Leaking. It's all nasty. What? All that stinking. Shake it on my dick, shake it, I bring bricks, she's so nasty, she bring this, you know what I bring mean dick on her neck, mean dick in her spine, you already know, I got the bottom line, she gon' go ahead, give me the dome, you already know I get it, all popping, don't leave me alone, I'ma spit it hot, like some lava guap, I get it, I pop, smoke, pop with the smoke like this nigga is a joke, cause I go, okay, welcome to the party, like, okay, you gonna have to shake it, like, okay, wobbly, bobbly, I don't know, nigga.
Alright.
Bars.
DJ D-Ray.
Cut
the beat. I'm weak off that. Alright.
I didn't have no bars that's going on.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, I was dropping it and picking it up a few times on my line. I won't say I wasn't. So,
you know,
that's another podcast in the books.
Yes, sir.
All right. You know, we got the looks and the hooks.
Yes, sir.
And you know, we be in the kitchen. Call us cooks. Ooh, that's just some extra bars for you to end the podcast. But, hope you guys had fun. I know I did. Till the next time. Till the next
Till
time.
the next time.
Signing out, Izzy G.
And Izzy P. Too real.
Goodbye.